So I have a company, Marc O'Grady Design, and that is local. That's just me. So we focus on residential architecture, 100%. We do custom homes primarily, additions, large scale renovations, that sort of thing. And then I have a second company that's called Beag+Haus, and we focus on modern small homes. So we work all over the country with that.
No, what is that called?
Beag+Haus.
Okay.
So Beag, it's actually pronounced Beck, is the Irish word for small.
Okay.
So that kind of plays off of my Irish heritage, and so it's small house is the name of that. So and that I'm partners in with a good friend of mine who lives in Michigan, where I'm from. So we partner in that, and we do small, really modern homes, usually vacation homes for people in different locations around the U.S.
So they come with the land, and you come with the.
Yeah, sometimes they come with nothing. So, and we help them evaluate land, the property for the project to see if there be any surprises, challenges, that sort of thing. And then they make a purchase based on that. But when they come to us, we can help them with a realtor. We partner with builders in different locations around the country. If they don't have a builder, then we can help them find a builder.
So the second company,
Mm-hmm.
vegan.
Beag+Haus. Yeah.
What? Why are people coming to you for a small house?
A lot of people want to downsize. They don't want the upkeep, the maintenance of a large house, and it's usually a second home, vacation home. So, and a lot of times since COVID, people want to get out. They want to go somewhere else. They can work remotely. So, most of the time they're a vacation home, but sometimes they're their primary residence. So, people are moving out to rural locations, mountain locations, places like that, and working full time. So they're moving to places they wanted to vacation in, but now they can live there.
What is the range that people spend from start to finish on one of these?
The small homes, it's probably, I mean, it can be anywhere from 300,000 to 900,000. It depends on the size, the location.
Still seems like a small budget to go with the small home.
It
at
is.
least for
It is.
our area, right?
Right. Yeah, the homes we design are primarily in the 300 to 350 per square foot for a house, and that's an all-in turnkey price
Nice.
with the projects we do. It depends on finishes, product selections, location, that sort of thing. But we have projects that have been estimated over $1 million. So even for a small house. So yeah, it just depends on how high end it is.
Yeah.
So. Mm-hmm.
And what made you want to start that one?
That one, so my friend, who's my business partner, Dwayne, he and I took a trip in 2016 to Park City, Utah. And we had always kind of talked about this. I had been throwing the idea around of, doing something more unique. And there were a lot of smaller, unique homes there that we saw. And we started talking about it more and more. And then in the spring of 2017, we kind of did a test and we created the company and did a home show up in northern Michigan, where we're both from, to test the market, see how people would respond to it. And 100% everyone loved it. So we decided that we would kind of go full steam ahead with that. And our first project came from northern Michigan.
Wow.
And that's yeah.
That's exciting.
Yeah, it was. It was good, and it's kind of taken off from there. And now we do projects all over the place. So.
Now, what's been one of the biggest challenges for the vegan homes?
Biggest challenge is budget usually. So people want more than the budget allows. Small house sounds appealing, but I think clients have a hard time kind of letting go of how many bedrooms they need or the size of the bedrooms, closets, that sort of thing, and really taking advantage of smaller living taking advantage of the outdoor spaces. So some people get it, some people don't. So we have to kind of guide them through it. But the biggest challenge for us has been budget, budget and finding builders that will build within that budget.
Is it because maybe a lot of people see the tiny homes and they've got like the DIYs and people are talking about, oh, you can get this done in like for $8,000.
Right, right, yeah. I mean, there is some of that, and a lot of the times builders would rather do a larger project.
Yeah.
So you know they kind of throw a big number at it.
Okay, so in terms of like looking into the future, how are you, like, what's your mindset around growing both your local
Right.
business, but then also,
Right. So the local business kind of takes care of itself. I partner with builders who bring in referrals and projects, things like that. So
what is your look? Like, what is your style that a builder is going to come specifically to you over somebody
right.
else?
So my company, Marc O'Grady Design, we right we work on the projects that people bring to us. So it's my personal style leans a little more modern. But if somebody comes to us with modern farmhouse or, something that an older home they want to renovate, we stay within that style. So, we have experience in all of that, so we can kind of work with anybody. The small house company, Beag+Haus, we primarily just do modern style. So the more modern and unique it can be, the better with that one. So, and that's kind of why we started that company, to allow us to be able to do those more unique projects. So, and when we started that, we thought people are either going to get this or they're not, and there's not going to be a middle ground. And that's kind of how it's turned out. The people who come to us, they really want something unique and modern in a unique location. So that's kind of worked out that way. So going forward, my personal company, that will kind of just keep going along. The modern house company, what we want to do is expand it, more locations, and then get into the development side. So purchasing land, which we already do, you know, building our own homes, things like that, getting into vacation rentals, and then selling land with houses to be built on it. That sort of development.
That's smart.
Mm-hmm.
A lot more areas you can help people with.
Yeah,
we go
yeah,
that route.
exactly.
Yeah, very cool. What do you love about our area? Where do you? It's not just Northern Virginia. You're DC.
Right. I do projects DC, Maryland, Virginia. It's primarily Virginia, at this time.
Okay.
But I do projects in other states. So I kind of got hooked up with a builder in Tennessee outside of Knoxville. So I work on projects down there in a lakefront community. So I work with a lot of retirees that are retiring from other parts of the country. They get my name from the builder because it's a smaller community, and then we work together. So
what's the most exciting thing? What's the most satisfying part of your job?
Seeing the houses built. That's the most satisfying thing, to see, your creation come to life. And, we see it in 3D prior to construction, but to see it in real life, be able to walk through it, that's kind of the amazing thing. I had the opportunity to stay in one of my houses that I designed out in the Shenandoah Valley. And some friends and I stayed out there, and a friend made a comment that, we're inside your mind right now. So that was, I was like, what do you mean? But, as I was there, I was like, yeah, that's a good way to
see you as like a little 12-year-old kid right now who drew like a picture.
Right.
And then somebody like puts it through a machine and then it just like comes to life.
Right,
and
right.
You're like, wow.
Yeah, that's the most satisfying part by far.
That's awesome. Very
being
cool.
able to see that. So, and I grew up in construction with my dad's construction company. So being around a job site is very familiar for me. I like it. So I'm involved all the way through construction. I like going to the job site, talking with contractors, all the way through. So it's fun.
What was that pivotal moment where you were like, I'm going to be an architect?
I always knew. So
since you were like 0 days old.
When I was, well, I don't know about that young, but when I remember 8 or 9 years old, sitting in our house and sketching out the floor plan of our house, I did I grew up working for my dad's company. So summer job, that's what I did, building homes. And then even after high school and in college for several years. I think when I really knew that I didn't want to be in construction, I mean, I always knew I wanted to do architecture, but is building homes in Michigan winters? I said, that's enough for me.
You
So,
couldn't feel your hands.
right, right, exactly. And, shoveling a foot of snow off of the house before you can start working for the day.
Yeah.
I said, that's enough. I'm going to be an architect.
I'm going to be on the inside
Right.
designing all of this, and we're going to have panels where it's going to melt all this snow.
Right, exactly.
Now, what do you do outside of work? Like, who are you when you're not designing or building businesses?
I'm outdoors all the time. So outdoorsy, hiking. I fly fish. So which my friend and business partner Dwayne got me into fly fishing on that trip to Park City back
This
when
isn't
we.
like flying planes.
No. This is standing in a stream in the mountains. Yep, that's catching fish. So he introduced me to that on that trip to Park City, and it kind of took off from there. So.
Were you like, this is crazy? And then like,
Well,
by the time you're done, you're like, when
yeah.
are we going to do that
Well,
again?
he had always done it, and he had always told us about it. So we got a guide who took us out, and we're standing in the stream surrounded by mountains, and that's when I knew this is.
Explain fly
for
fishing
me.
for those of us that have never experienced
Fly
it.
fishing is like, it's a different rod. Regular spin fishing, everybody kind of knows what that is. Just regular fishing. Fly fishing is where the lures are, representations of flies, so that the fish eat. So it floats on the water, they can be under the water. But it's a whole different style of fishing where, you're casting with the line versus the lure, and it's a lot of different locations. So I grew up fishing with my dad behind my grandparents' house in a little stream in the woods, catching trout, and that's kind of where that came from. But it's a whole different kind of fishing. It's more solitary. So you go out by yourself. You're in nature most of the time. For me, it's in the mountains because that's where the fish live. There's a saying that says, trout live in beautiful places. So that's where I like to go. I can spend a whole day and, spend it outside and fly fish.
I love that.
Yep.
Now, when you're retired, what are you going to be doing? You're like,
I'm never.
85,
I don't
you're
think I'm
85
ever
years old.
retiring.
Are you still going to be?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I'm gonna be outside hiking, fishing, doing all that kind of
Sketching.
stuff. Yeah. I mean, in this area, people, they're more scared of winter. I grew up in Michigan, where we stayed outside all year. So it's for me. That's what I'll continue doing.
I love that.
hmm
In terms of, if you could say one message, if you give one message to the world, what would you say?
One message to the world. I would say go after what you want. That's kind of what I did with my business, and the second company is I saw something that I wanted to do that fulfilled a need and fulfilled a desire and went after it. That's what I would say. Do that in any part of your life.
I love that. Thank you so much for being on the episode. It was such an
Yeah,
honor
no
and
problem.
pleasure
This was
to learn
great.
from you.
Definitely. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you.